Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Tensions are escalating between the United States and Europe after President Trump threatened to impose tariffs on 8 European allies that oppose his push to take over Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. On Sunday, Trump sent a text message to Norway's prime minister, writing, quote, "Considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace," Trump wrote. He went on, quote, "The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland," unquote. In a post overnight, Trump also criticized Britain for giving the Chagos Islands back to Mauritius after nearly 6 decades of British rule. Over the weekend, thousands took part in protests in Greenland and Denmark. European leaders denounced Trump's threats and are weighing cutting off U.S. companies to the European Union market, a move known as the EU's trade bazooka. UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper spoke Monday.
As the Prime Minister said this morning, the future of Greenland is for the Greenlanders and for the Danes alone. Greenland is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and those principles around sovereignty are crucial. It's also why we have made very clear that the use of tariffs and threats against allies in this way is completely wrong and counterproductive.
President Trump's heading to the World Economic Forum in Davos. The Washington Post reports the elite gathering has been turned into an emergency diplomatic summit this year due to Trump's threats to take over Greenland. The Pentagon's placed 1,500 soldiers from the 11th Airborne Division in Alaska on standby to possibly be deployed to Minnesota, just days after President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act to quell protests over ICE's immigration crackdown. This comes as the Trump administration says it's opened criminal investigations into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, both of whom have sharply criticized ICE's tactics. In a statement, Governor Walz said, quote, "Weaponizing the justice system and threatening political opponents is a dangerous authoritarian tactic," unquote. On Friday, a federal judge ordered ICE agents to stop arresting or pepper spraying peaceful protesters in Minneapolis. On Sunday, demonstrators disrupted services at a church in St. Paul to protest one of the church's pastors,